Hi everyone, today I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to add a Christmas background to your holiday photo and also how to stack your photos together so you can get an image that looks kind of like this one. So I'm going to start here with this picture of my daughter, and you can see that I started with just a plain old background. If it will go there. There we go. She was sitting out on a trampoline. Not very Christmassy at all. So what I'm going to show you how to do is how to add a different background by using the magic Extractor. Now I'm using version 9 of Photoshop Elements, so you might have a newer version that looks a little different, but look for the magic Extractor. Then what you need to do is just come in here and mark all the areas that you want to keep. You use this tool. It's the foreground tool. To mark everything that you want to keep into the picture, and then you click on the background brush and you're going to mark everything that you want to delete from the picture. Now Photoshop is usually pretty good. You can click the preview button here and it's going to show you what it thinks you would like to do with this picture. It's usually pretty good about guessing based on the marks that you make here what you want to keep and what you want to get rid of, but it's not always perfect. So after you look at the preview, you may need to use one of these buttons to put something back into the picture or take something out. And this one did a pretty good job. There's a little bit of things down here that you might need to change, but for right now, to make this quick, we're going to go ahead and do that. If you do have things in your image you want to change later, you might need to use the eraser tool, and it looks like they cut off part of her foot. So what I want to do actually in the magic Extractor was use the red foreground brush to make sure that that is let in there. But for right now, I'm not going to worry about that because I want to try to keep this video tutorial short for you. So once you have the background deleted, you could put in a new one. So I have this one that I chose from a collection of photo backgrounds that I purchased on Amazon, but you can find lots of different backgrounds online or different places. I'm going to add a blur to this so that it doesn't distract from the image. So I've made that. You can still tell that it's some snowy trees, but now it's not going to distract us from what we want to look at. All you have to do now is just drag this down into the picture that you want to put it there, and you'll see that it's too small, so we're going to resize it so that it's bigger and can fit right in here. I'm actually going to stretch this out a bit, but for this one I think it'll still look just fine. And then all I need to do is I drag the layer down so that my daughter is in the foreground in the front and the trees are in the background. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this image and I'm going to flatten it. That just gives me one layer to work with instead of two, and I can move this now as one whole piece, and I'm going to drag it right down into this picture. Well, you'll see that it's very huge and we don't want it to be that big, so I'm going to make it smaller. You just drag it into size, and this is where if you have someone holding a white background, or it could be black, whatever you want them to be holding, you're going to use that as your board here to just squeeze this in here, make that fit. For right now, I'm not going to try to make this perfect. I'm just going to give you the idea. When you do it, you will want to, try to get it as even as possible. Once you do this, you may find that you've cut off, the fingers or something else, because this image is basically going on top of the white that you have here. So what you may need to do is click on the part you want to delete, use your eraser tool to get those images back. So it looks like there we've got his fingers and they're not getting cut off. Once you do that, you can use the same process. If you flatten this whole image into one, you can drag everything down into another photo, and you can eventually end up with something like this, where you have all three stacked together, and it makes a really fun Christmas photo. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.